Take a look at the starting grid for today's race. There's Kevin on the pole, next to four-time series champion Jeff Gordon.
Row 2, Kurt Busch on the inside, the outside. Won this race a couple times, Ryan Newman.
You can see the chasers highlighted in yellow. Denny Hamlin is one of them, a rookie in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, and a good qualifying effort for David Stremme. He's outside row 3.
Jimmy Johnson and Greg Biffle will occupy row 4.
Row 5, it's former New Hampshire winner Robbie Gordon next to Ken Schrader, who comes in off his best finish of the season last Saturday night at Richmond.
Row 6, I know both these guys are looking for a good run. Martin Truex Jr. on the inside. On the outside, Brian Vickers driving 25 car for Hendrick.
Row 7, chaser Dale Earnhardt Jr. next to Elliott Sadler in the 19 car.
Good qualifying run for David Gilliland driving the 38 Yates car. And another chaser on the outside, Kyle Busch.
Joe Nemechek, a former winner here at New Hampshire. He's lined up next to Clint Bowyer, a win waiting to happen in that 07 car.
Row 10, Carl Edwards on the inside, looking for something good to happen here. The last 10 races, and Jeff Green on the outside.
Row 11, Dave Blaney also had his best finish of the season last week at Richmond, and there's Jeff Burton chasing the Nextel Cup Championship.
Row 12 on the inside, be Scott Riggs on the outside. 42 car, Casey Mears.
Winner could come from this row. Row 13, two guys chasing the cup, Matt Kenseth and his teammate Mark Martin.
Row 14 on the inside, Kyle Petty. On the outside, Tony Raines in the 96 car.
Row 15, Bobby Labonte and the veteran Sterling Marlin in the 14 car.
Row 16 on the inside, Reed Sorensen. On the outside, Tony Stewart gets around this place pretty good.
Way back in row 17, that's where you will find Casey Kane, one of the 10 drivers chasing the cup. He's next to Travis Quapple.
Row 18 on the inside, Michael Waltrip, and on the outside, J.J. Yaley in the 18 car.
Row 19, former series champion Dale Jarrett and Chad Chaffin, the last car to qualify, made the race.
Scott Wimmer, Kevin LePage will occupy row 20.
Row 21, Morgan Shepherd and Jamie McMurray all the way back in the 21st row. And the 43rd car, Teddy Christopher. See the drivers that did not qualify, and no one has to drop to the back of the field for this race. Green flag in the air. The chase is underway at New Hampshire. Pole sitter Kevin Harvick leads the first lap. He's got 5 bonus points. They could be big.
Kurt Busch looking on the bottom of Ryan Newman. Wow, what was that? Stremme just looked like he was going to take it 3 wide there for a minute. The car's really sliding around here the first few laps. The tire pressures are down low, so the tires are soft, they're cold. So you're really skating around in these first few laps. You got to be careful here at New Hampshire.
Harvick was second in the first practice session, then won the pole, then was fastest in both practice sessions here yesterday. A very popular...
Oh, we got trouble straightaway. 66.
Jeff Green hard into the wall.
Real hard. Oh, a spring is flying across the racetrack. Somebody ran it over, too.
To the garage, to the garage.
Looks like that 14 car Sterling Marlin may have run that spring over. I saw it sliding across the racetrack. Woo, he hit hard.
Boy, right in front of us. So Jeff Green brings out the first caution. And this happened right at the start-finish line.
Busch's car car looks pretty good in the early stages. It looks like he'd really run that low line where some of these guys are sliding up the racetrack in the middle, like Jeff Gordon. And if you can keep the grip down there on the bottom, you're going to pass a lot of cars, because 90% of the cars are going to slide up the middle of the racetrack or even higher.
And that's the Tony Stewart line around this track. He normally can keep his car pinched down there all the way around this track.
24 is going to lose a spot to Kurt Busch. What's the 24 up to, Matt?
WD, his comments similar to what a lot of other drivers are saying earlier on, just lacking grip. His 26-year-old crew chief, Steve Letarte, making his one-year anniversary on top of the pit box. The man calling the shots just told Jeff, let's race on the conservative side today, especially after what they saw happen early on.
We're going to come back at him. Get on the inside.
Try to take the position. Ford made the point here on Friday that Tony Stewart's average finish last season was 8.7. Stewart ended up winning the championship. Gordon says their goal, not winning races, but finishing better than that 8.7 average, and he believes that will have them in contention when we get to Homestead. Martin currently running in the 19th spot, trying to get a position from Carl Edwards, and an update from Marty.
Bill trying to work his way slowly and patiently to the front. I talked to Pat Tryson this morning. I know they have a very good race car. The last 2 times this car has run on the racetrack, it's finished top 5, including here in July. I asked Pat, well, how are you going to get to the front? He said, listen, track position is going to be the key all day long. We have some fast cars in the back with us, like Tony Stewart, right behind him right now. They may try 2 tires on an early stop, knowing that will get them the position they need, and they think the car will run well enough on those 2 tires to keep them out front. We'll see what they do on that first stop.
See if he can lock onto the bumper of that 20, because as BP would say, he's going somewhere. Tony Stewart marching forward. They're starting 32nd. Matt Kenseth started 25th. He's in the 24th spot. And Casey Kane, who started deep in the field, locked in traffic, back in 29th. On board with Kevin Harvick from the pole, the popular pick in the garage to win today. He's out front at New Hampshire. Just out here at New Hampshire, the restart. And Denny Hamlin is the race leader. Then Jeff Burton. Then pole sitter Kevin Harvick. A 2-tire strategy being employed by several teams here early in the Sylvania 300.
See Burton taking a look on the inside. I don't think it's going to take long for Harvick to get back up to the front on 4 tires, but we'll have to wait and see here. But in the meantime, Burton trying to get down on the inside. Watch those bonus points for him as well. Harvick's just sitting there being patient right now.
Hamlin's gotten his bonus points. 2-tire pit stop for Denny Hamlin. Got him out front. Picked up 6 positions on pit road.
Harvick's like, come on, Jeff. If you're going to do it, you better do it.
Right.
I got to go.
He wants him to get those bonus points, but he doesn't want to be held up.
Right.
Hamlin, the 26-year-old from Virginia, leads early here at New Hampshire. Burton on his bumper, but can't make the move. Looks inside again as they head for the backstretch. 5 bonus points for leading a lap, and Jeff Burton would like 5 of them. Ticker at the top of the screen, the 10 drivers in the chase highlighted in yellow. Harvick says, I've got to go. 3 wide. Oh, he's into Hamlin.
That was a little bit more of a risky move than you needed to make when you're running for the chase here. Lucky he didn't cut down a tire on that move, Kevin Harvick.
Harvick leads, Hamlin back to 7. You said something about patience earlier, didn't you?
Yes, I did. None was shown there.
See Mark Martin in the 6th car. A 2-tire stop for Mark. That helped him pick up a number of positions off of pit road. Martin runs in the 4th spot. Stremme, Busch, and Earnhardt racing for 5th right here. It's on board with Earnhardt Jr. Kurt Busch in the 2. David Stremme in the 40. Earnhardt Jr. with a move to the inside.
You see the 11 car just lights up a little bit, and Harvick thinks he can just gas it and squeeze through. But they're real lucky they didn't cut tires on that deal right there.
On board with Harvick.
Also lucky 11 car didn't wind up in a wall.
A lot of luck going around there. Well, Harvick clearly knows how good his car is, and he wasn't going to sit there for very long. He let his teammate try for a couple of laps to get those 5 bonus points, but then Kevin saw just the smallest opening, dashed right into it.
I'm not sure he needed it, but that was more of a desperate move. I don't think that was really necessary. His car was so much better. I think if he would have just waited a lap or two, he could have passed him down on the bottom.
Earnhardt Jr., one of the chasers inside of Kurt Busch.
Guys on the outside want to clear these lap cars as fast as they can. And really slows you up when you're side by side. Jeff Burton taking a look. Gonna lead that one, I think.
Eddie Christopher.
No caution yet.
Stay under green. Burton did lead the last lap, 5 bonus points for him. On board with his teammate Kevin Harvick, looking at the 24 of Gordon. Gordon has a teammate behind him, the 25 of Vickers. And Mark Martin runs 5th. The 2-tire strategy for Jeff Burton worked out great.
Yeah, it seems like on Gordon's car anyway, it takes a few laps to get those pressures up before his car really starts working good. So I've seen the last couple restarts, he's lost a little bit on the restarts, but then after 5 or 6 laps, he's back.
Burton used 2 tires to gain pit positions, then a forced tire stop. Alan, you watching the 29?
Yeah, Bill, I just want to do 2 things. First of all, I'll tell you that they did put a spring rubber in the right rear to try and help the handling of the car. It was something, this chassis configuration, something they had run in practice. They think it will help them a lot now. The other thing is they took the time to put that spring rubber in and never gave up a spot on pit road. That's a whale of a job by this pit crew. Marty?
Speaking of 2 tires, it also worked for Mark Martin, who was able to hang in the top 6. He was running 6th when he came to pit road. Caution on the racetrack. Jimmy Johnson, guys.
Hard into the wall. Caution is out at New Hampshire.
Still off, fellas.
Wow.
Can't hit it.
Spotter saying there was contact with another car. Chad Canals, crew chief for Jimmy.
Can't hit it.
He's up on the outside there. Biffle slowed down. Sterling Marlin hit the brakes and tried to avoid Biffle a little bit, turned to the right a little bit, and Jimmy Johnson was there. Watch to the left of Jimmy Johnson. You see, Biffle had to avoid the 07, and it knocked 14. Sterling was just trying to avoid a wreck. Nobody's fault, just being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And that's because you're deep in the field.
That's right.
Still under green here at New Hampshire, but Casey Kane has been forced to make an unscheduled stop after the win at California, racing his way into Richmond. Troubles for Casey Kane. Marty?
Well, Bill, we talked about the tire possibly going down and the team being ready, and Casey needed to come to pit road. Casey entered the chase for the Nextel Cup, 10th in the championship standings. Knowing that in mind, though, he said, guys, we cannot stay out here any longer. I've got to come. There's got to be a tire going down because our car was so good in the first part of the race and so bad right now. Something has gone wrong, either with the car or a tire, but it's worth the risk to come to pit road. Now, we're going to check all 4 tires and see if indeed one is flat.
Thanks, Marty. This is for the lead. Teammates Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick, both driving for Richard Childress. Matt Kenseth looking under Kurt Busch. Kenseth tries to take the position down the backstretch.
Looks like he might do it. Trying to roll that car through the center just enough to where he can clear him, and he does.
Matt slowly working his way toward the top 10. loss. Gordon 11th.
And although, you know, we heard Matt talk about his car wasn't that great, and they weren't really good qualifying, but he's making something out of it.
That's exactly right. Now, these are teammates racing for the lead. And we heard Jeff Gordon wasn't happy with his teammate Brian Vickers when Vickers wanted to get the position. How do you handle that?
Well, if I'm Brian Vickers, tough. I'm out here trying to win a race. I don't care if you're trying to win a championship. I'm not out here for you. I'm out here for me. So if, you know, with Gordon complaining about that, exactly. What do you expect him to do? He's trying, you know, we talked about it earlier. You're here, you got 10 races, you're trying to win your first race, you're trying to make your sponsors happy, and you're just another car in my way if I got a good car.
And Vickers, leaving that team, certainly wants to get Rick Hendrick to victory lane before he leaves at the end of the season.
Now, this is a different situation. You got two guys that are both running the championship, and they're probably going to be a little bit more patient than maybe Vickers is in this case, but still, hey, everybody's out there for themselves.
Matt?
Both RCR car drivers, Bill, being patient now. The 31 of Burton, he says the rear end of the car is starting to come around a little too tight in the center of the corner. He's just trying to run his line, not trying to mess up his day or his teammate. Both, though, keeping their eye on the bigger picture and, of course, the smaller picture, victory lane. Burton hasn't been there in a long time, back in 2001, AB.
Well, Kevin Harvick, echoing Jeff Burton's sentiments, both will do whatever they can to help each other try and win the championship. But something else that's at stake here, just in this specific race besides the win, those 5 bonus points for who leads the most laps. 5 points could be the difference between the 31 and 29, say, holding the big trophy at the end of the year.
$102 laps to go. And as the guys on pit road talked about, these teams not yet in their fuel window. And remember, the race here in July had 8 extra laps under NASCAR's green-white checkered rule.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, Kyle Busch is around. And into the wall, Jeff Gordon and Matt Kenseth almost came together. Caution is out.
Kind of saw that one coming. They were 3 wide. They had split the 5 car going down the backstretch into 3.
Let's go be the garage here, guys. Let's go be the garage.
Kyle Busch was just all over the track on that restart. Although that really wasn't his fault. The 07 of Clint Boyer got loose and slid up the racetrack and nailed him.
Now, Clint Boyer had only taken 2 tires on his stop.
Yeah, he got loose. You could see the front wheels were turned to the right. He was trying to save the car. Unfortunately, when you're on the outside of guys saving the race car, you're going to get the short end of the stick.
He's 4th in line. This could get ugly early.
Yeah, this is where Harvick's got to be real careful, not force the issue. Just really pay attention to what's going on. We almost, what was that, 55?
Yep.
Michael gets way out of shape. Got to keep your eyes peeled right now on what's going on and let it sort out in front of you and start making your way through.
The 96 of Brains did not stop either. Yep.
Like Riggs slipped.
That's for the lead right there. Harvick and Blaney. Michael Waltrip up the track a little bit. Harvick trying to pinch it down low.
And that's really where Harvick needs to be, is on the bottom, because when you're wrecking here, you normally go up to the top of the racetrack. So
Vickers has gotten around Blaney for 2nd.
there's Harvick trying again to put Michael Waltrip a lap down. Michael runs him hard. Not going to give it to him.
Michael is 25th, the last car shown on the lead lap until the leader gets by him. If the leader gets by him. Harvick fighting to get by him.
29, really Harvick squeezing Waltrip up the racetrack coming off of turn 4.
Vickers got by as well. So Harvick runs first, Brian Vickers in second. An update on Harvick from Allen.
A couple things there, Bill. First of all, under the caution, Todd Berrier, Harvick's crew chief, asking Kevin to save all the fuel that he can in case we get an extended green-white checker like we did in the July race here, when we ended up running 308 laps. And then Kevin talked about having to be careful threading his way through this traffic, especially with Brian Vickers hot on his tail. He does not want to give up the lead. Matt?
Allen, same fuel strategy for the 25 of Vickers. They're good if we go the normal race distance. They are short if we go into a green-white checker situation. Now, he was comparing his car, the 25, to Harvick, said Harvick can carry more speed into the corner. That's the only place he's getting beat at this moment.
Thanks, Matt. Pretty racy right here.
Yeah, these guys are going at it tooth and nail. 31 car, Jeff Burton on the bottom. You see Stewart on the high side. Burton trying to make that pass, but the car doesn't look like it really was handling there down on the bottom a couple laps ago. Trying to make it stick underneath Kenseth. Now, Kenseth, don't forget, it's on those 2 tires, so these guys should be able to get by Matt. I'm not sure that was the right move. We'll have to see how this works out.
His left side tires are approximately 50 laps old already on that 17 car. So Matt's going to have his hands full. Earnhardt Jr. back in that mess behind Mark Martin.
And Jr. sitting in 10th spot right now.
Mark's in 9th, and Denny Hamlin is just behind him.
And you see the 17 of Matt Kenseth already really sliding up the racetrack when he goes into the corner. See what he goes down into the corner here. Car goes way up to the middle, almost real high in the groove. Now these guys that are running the bottom are taking the short way around.
But Matt's got that brake problem too. Remember, they said his brake pedal was going to the floor. So Matt has more problems than just his tires. He's got that brake issue. There he is, drifting high again, and we've already seen 2 of the chasers in trouble today, the 48 and the 5. Marty, what are you working on?
Well, Matt's got his hands full, Bill. As you mentioned, now if my math serves me correct, those left side tires will have to run 128 laps if they are going to finish this race on this set of tires. They can go all the way on fuel. Now, the brake issue has not gotten better all day long for Robbie Reiser and for Matt Kenseth. He said the pedal is very soft out there right now, and I worked out a deal with Robbie this morning. He said if the brakes aren't working, don't ask me about them. They're not working, okay? But we got to get them fixed for Martinsville and Phoenix. They knew they had an issue going into today. As far as Tony Stewart, they have worked all day long on making this car better. Tony came on the radio under the last caution, said, guys, from the middle of the corner off, it's the best it's been all day. And Wally, if you want to be good in one spot here in New Hampshire, I would say it's middle of the corner off, wouldn't you?
Yep, definitely got to get through the middle. If you can get through the middle and just hammer the gas pedal, you're going to drive off these corners really straight. And that's exactly what Tony's doing right now. Started at 39th today, and he sits in the 5th spot. So those guys have done a really good job to rally back.
And he looked miserable on his qualifying lap, didn't he? There's Kevin Harvick. He's out front. Brian Vickers about a 2.5 seconds behind him. Dave Blaney is 3rd. Then it's Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart, the top 5 at New Hampshire. Dale Earnhardt Jr. working over Matt Kenseth. And again, Kenseth has fresh tires, but still a problem with the brakes.
Whoa! Kenseth drives it sideways off the corner. And this is, you know, for 10th spot, but it's a position. These guys are both in the chase, so they're racing each other really, really hard.
Plus, if Earnhardt gets by Kenseth, look at the line of traffic behind him.
Yeah, I think Junior's probably a little bit quicker than Kenseth right now. So obviously, the 8 Earnhardt can get around him. He thinks he can leave him, but boy, 17 running hard, Marty.
Well, Wally Matt's doing the best he can. You saw he got a great run from the middle of the corner off, was able to pull some distance between him and Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said, tighten me up for this late run, round and a half down on the track bar. He's doing the best he can, holding on with some very soft brakes. Dave?
And Wally said, you know, racing for 10th position. Well, this is racing for the championship, right?
That's right.
I mean, Junior knows 5 points more over Matt Kenson will get him closer to the title. So he's trying to race really hard right now. Thinks he has a car that he can drive harder than before that pit stop.
And if you get a top 10 here, this is one of those tracks where you walk away thinking maybe you stole a little bit, because a lot of guys don't have a lot of good racing luck or good racing history here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, I think this is a racetrack they really like to get out of the way early in the deal.
Because so many things can happen.
That's right. Talladega's another one that you kind of go in just, you know, shaking your head and shrugging your shoulders going, man, I don't know. But I think you're right. A lot of these guys would be happy leaving here with the top 10.
Mark Martin, who said on the countdown to green was already looking ahead to Dover, is back in 14th. Would love to get himself a top 10. He's back there, he's right there with Casey Kane in the 9.
You look at guys like Jimmy Johnson right now and Kyle Busch. They're 140 plus points, 139 points, 146 points back right now going into Dover. That's brutal.
That's a deep hole. Saw that Kevin Harvick right now, as they run, leads the championship. Harvick has never led the point standings in his Nextel Cup career. Earnhardt looking at Ryan Newman. There's Mark and Casey Kane, two of the guys in the chase. This is for 13th. Marty?
Well, Bill, this is a case of 4 tires versus 2. Mark Martin has the 4. Casey Kane, unfortunately, has the 2 from the last stop. Very disgusted with the way his car is handling. Casey is at the end of this race, and it just will not turn. And Mark, with those 4 tires in the car, you know what? Pretty good, but it takes a while for it to come in, and they're running out of time. Only 18 to go.
Yeah, you can see Casey Kane just sliding up the racetrack. He's lost grip of that car. So he's got 18 laps to go. He's just going to try to hope that he doesn't lose too many more spots. But there's Robbie Gordon in the 7th. And Greg Biffle right there trying to gobble him up too. So he's driving his heart out. He just wants to do the least amount of damage as possible. Here we go.
Teammates for 2nd. Vickers in the 25, Gordon in the 24. Gordon is in the chase. Vickers is not. Vickers is hunting for his first Nextel Cup Series victory. This goes on about a 1.5 seconds behind race leader Kevin Harvick. And Gordon wasn't very happy with Vickers earlier in the race.
Tapped him right there going down the straightaway.
Matt?
They just told Brian Vickers, let him go. He's much faster than we are at the moment. They've got a great run going on for the 25 team, as well as the 24. Looking at the bigger picture, his 5th championship. Remember, these two were battling earlier. Gordon was a little upset with his teammate in the 25.
Well, he's not letting him go.
He's not letting him go.
See, this is when Vickers is thinking back. I remember what he was doing to me earlier in the race.
Yeah, he didn't just let me by.
Made him work for it. That'll probably come up in a meeting on Monday. You see Burton and Tony Stewart right behind him. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick has pulled away to a 2-second lead, Alan.
And his team is going to keep a very careful eye on the gap from Harvick back to Jeff Gordon. Just before Gordon finished the pass on Brian Vickers, Todd Berrier told Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon's been running some slightly faster lap times than you. I'll keep you posted.
Stewart to 4th. There's the battle for 2nd. Gordon in the 24, Vickers right behind him now.
And they're not worried about the brakes anymore. I mean, they're all running as hard as they can right now. Certainly nobody's worrying about fuel.
13 to go.
working on Kenseth.
Again.
Junior's been pretty fast. I've been watching his lap times, and his lap times have been very good. A couple laps ago, he was the fastest car running, but he's been having to pass a lot of cars and race with guys. Just doesn't have enough to roll through the center far enough to where he can pull off the pass.
He's working awful hard, Dave.
He had that big gap a few laps ago where he really backed off from the 17, and it was at that point that he radioed to his crew, 0 forward bite. Couldn't get off the corners to challenge the 17, but he's cooled his tires down, he's gathered himself back up, and he's really put on yet another charge to try to get that position away from Matt.
There's 20, Stewart underneath Vickers.
That's for third.
Stewart takes it.
Kenseth runs in the 10th spot. Earnhardt is 11. Again, these two drivers are in the chase. Matt Kenseth is just going to be whipped after this race is over. How about him, Marty?
And Bill, remember, he's doing all of this for the brake issue that just has not worked all day long. A very soft pedal. So what Matt's doing, he's letting off 3 or 4 car lengths earlier than everybody else, at least he was earlier in the race. But that allows him to get back to the gas, not use as much brake in the middle of the corners. And plus, the car is handled fairly well in the second half of this race. And when your car handles better, you use less brake, and that's really helped out the 17 as well.
Now you've got Newman working under Earnhardt, and he's got the advantage right there. Mark Martin right there taking a look, deciding which way he wants to go.
Earnhardt's car just wouldn't work in that low groove. Just couldn't get it done down there.
He just can't get through the center, and Mark Martin gets underneath
How
both
about
of them.
that? Mark Martin with the move. Caution is out. Kyle Petty has lost an engine, it appears. Allen.
All right, Bill, so here we go with the green-white checker fuel situation. Todd Berrier, Kevin Harvick's crew chief, told me just a few moments ago they were good on fuel to at least lap 304 from their last pit stop. Then they had Kevin try and save some fuel under these last couple of cautions, so I don't expect any appearance on pit road from the race leader. I expect that they're going to ride it out and hope we don't end up at like lap 308 like we did in the July race here.
That's right. The July race extended 8 laps under NASCAR's green-white checkers rule. But the biggest thing here at a race is that 2.5-second lead that Harvick had. Puts Gordon right on his bumper, and Tony Stewart, who's been really charging the last 10-15 laps.
Laying back.
Watch the restart.
Stewart to the outside of the 24. That's good for Harvick. These guys running side by side, but Tony Stewart cleared him quick. Stewart to second.
Come on.
Stewart on fresher tires.
Harvick did not want to see that on his car in his mirror.
Vickers back on the bumper of Gordon.
What was that all about?
Casey Kane back in the middle of all that, but Robbie Gordon was the car swinging far to the inside.
Denny Hamlin trying to get that spot away. 4th spot from Vickers. Got him cleared so far.
Field through turns 3 and 4. 2 laps to go. Does Harvick really have enough fuel? Does Tony have enough time? Stewart driving for all he's worth. Not a championship contender this season, trying to get the victory. Harvick has never led the point standings in his Nextel Cup career. Coming to get the white flag this time. Final lap at New Hampshire. An impressive season so far for Kevin Harvick and for Richard Childress Racing. Has 2 drivers in the chase, one leading this race, one in 7th. It's going to be a disappointing day for Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson, but not for Kevin Harvick. He comes off of turn 4. No one will catch him. The chase begins at New Hampshire, and Kevin Harvick wins.
Awesome job. Way to jump on this thing, man.
Oh! Trouble, Truex coming off of 4. Oh, right. Oh, man, he gets Quapple and Tony Raines. Car is tore up.
Boy. The net down on the 32. There's Travis.
Quapple took a hit, too.
Unofficially, Newman got back around Dale Earnhardt for 12th. That would move Earnhardt back to 13th. Casey Kane 16th.
Well, let's see. Looks like the 1 car gets a little bit sideways, getting off of 4, and the 40 car, David Stremme, just gets into him. And then he just slid up in front of all these other guys.
He got the 32, and the 32 got Raines in the 96.
Pretty much the end of a miserable day anyway, boy, for Martin Truex.
Boy, Travis is lucky.
Yeah.
Here they are coming off of 4.
Yeah, it's just Martin just got a little bit loose getting off of 4, and Stremme was right under his left rear and kind of finished him off.
I think the happy nickname fits right about now. Kevin, congratulations. Led 196 of 300 laps. I want to take you backwards through the race just a little bit. When the caution came out late and erased your 2-second lead, and then you saw the 20 car come up behind you. What were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking that it's a good thing we're on a restart because it's hard to get these cars going, but got to thank Reese's. Glad to finally get them into victory lane. We've had a lot of success with our GM Goodwrench car, but man, this thing was a little bit tight in the beginning. We made some really big adjustments on it through the day, so just have to thank Todd and all my guys for making this thing better through the whole race.
A race like that, when you're out front so much, looks easy from the outside. Was this a difficult race, or is it easy when you're out front like that?
Well, it's good for your car. You can save your brakes and save your tires and save a lot of things. So I tried to tear it up a couple times today, just probably being a little bit too aggressive. But all in all, I was really worried about the 24 if he got around in 25. So restarts didn't hurt us at all, and we were able to keep going forward.
What does championship momentum mean for you? You've certainly got it.
Yeah. I mean, we just have to keep doing what we're doing at this point. If we keep winning races and doing what we need to do there, we're not going to get outscored in points. So we know we're going to have some bumps in the road, and we just have to score all we can when our cars are really good.